Melissa woke up on the couch, light streaming through the curtains from the outside. "Is it morning already?" she asked no one. Despite what she was seeing, she felt like she hadn't been asleep for that long. "Nope, that's not the sun," a voice in the corner of the room answered her. Immediately she tensed and sat straight up. "You thought you could hide my sister when she burned so bright? No, that's just not possible," Ventrix said, and stepped out of the shadow. He was tall, black and red, but unlike the rest of them they had seen so far, his armor looked more like a work of art instead of a weapon of war. It fit together perfectly. "Who are you?" she asked him quietly. "Don't want to wake your friend up, talking so softly. I am Ventrix, and you, well, you two have managed to hurt Arquette, and no one hurts my family. No one," he said, and moved towards her, making no noise at all. Melissa shrank back into the couch as he approached, growing a bit more afraid as she noticed her bow was where she left it. "Well, if we managed to hurt Arquette, that makes you wrong. But I have to admit, at least you tried to make sense," she replied to him. Ventrix stopped and worked it out in his head. "Fine. Correction. No one else will hurt my family," he said to her. "See? You're smart. So let me tell you something else. Your creators have abandoned you. You're all alone. Lumic knows the truth. You can ask her," Melissa said to him, trying to think of things to say that might change his mind. Ventrix didn't buy it, and before she could even react, his black hand had her by the neck and lifted her off the ground. "She's been spouting the same thing since we unsealed her. But the thing about her is, she'll believe anything. For 1,000 years, we had her convinced unicorns are actually a good thing. It was a blast," he said, as Shane's whip wrapped around Ventrix's neck. "Let her go, or I'll drain the—" Shane was cut off as his arm began to go numb. "Troubles there, big shooter?" he said, as Wither shrank away from him. "I have very little life energy for you to consume. Arquette warned me of your tricks," he said, and Shane fell to his knees as his body felt dead. "Are we done now?" he asked them both, and with no answer, he continued. "Great. I suppose your silence means yes, and that's one of my favorite words," Ventrix said, walked to Shane, grabbed the back of his shirt, and carried them both right out the front door. He dropped them in a snowbank on the front lawn. "Now, you two stay right there," he said to them. Melissa gasped for breath, and Shane was still recovering. The after effect attacking Ventrix had on him. Arquette held Lumic in her left hand, and together it was hard to look at them. "No, I'm telling you, the humans are right. Tinea knows what's up. You should ask her," Lumic said from her blade. "Yeah, don't worry, we will. Ventrix and I will get to the bottom of this," Arquette replied to her in an exhausted voice. She was tired of the questions already. "Don't forget me. I'm here too," Zolar said, standing some distance away. That much light made him uncomfortable. "How could anyone forget you?" Arquette replied to him. "Well, I don't know, but it does seem to happen quite a bit," Zolar said, and crossed his arms. "Go play with a robot or something until they show up. You're too depressing for me," Arquette said to him, and rolled her eyes. Sometimes she didn't know how she was related to these other blades. "Fine, I will," he replied, and walked off, but he didn't get too far. Ventrix was walking away from the two he dragged out of the house when suddenly he disappeared. Where did you go?" Arquette looked around, confused at his vanishing trick. There was a sound in the dark sky that sounded like tearing metal. Arquette looked up and figured she knew what was going on. "Oh man, Tinea is here, and you're all in for a beating now, you'll see, and—" Lumic was cut off when Pen and Tinea came crashing into the street, breaking it as they landed on their back, and Ventrix fell out of the sky, landed softly on the ground, rubbing the left side of his head.